Thanks again for joining, everyone. My name is Clever McQuarrie, and I am the Partner Relationship Manager here at ByteSpeed. We're joined by the Ericsson/Cradlepoint team. We'll have them introduce themselves as well. We're joined by the Parsec team. Our conversation today is going to be focused around battery-powered routers and how those can enable connectivity anywhere you are at, whether you're responding to an incident, and we'll get into a few different use cases to explain to you how Cradlepoint devices are being utilized in a variety of settings. But without further ado, in case some of you are not that familiar with ByteSpeed, we're headquartered in Minnesota and operate across the nation. We're primarily focused on school districts, helping them procure all kinds of technology solutions from desktops, laptops, Wi-Fi equipment. We're mostly going today be discussing our partnership with Cradlepoint. So I'll have Garrett introduce himself and the Cradlepoint team, and then we'll go from there.
Hey, thanks, Clever. Appreciate that. Hey, everybody. My name is Garrett Sawyer. I'm a regional sales manager supporting Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Dakotas. Primarily support K-12, city, county, first responders, law enforcement, but heavy presence in supporting K-12s around the E-rate program and the education applications that we support. With me, I've got Rich. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hi, Rich Ellis. I'm a colleague of Garrett's. I'm covering the state of Illinois for state, local, and education.
Thanks, Rich.
All right, we'll have the Parsec team introduce themselves. We've got Mike Neenan. He's a little bit of a celebrity here, the founder of the Parsec team, and the best guy to talk to about antennas in the world. And so we look forward to hearing his insights as well.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Mike Neenan, CEO and founder of Parsec and technical lead. Thanks for having me on the call today. Honor.
All right, great. So we'll get started here with the Cradlepoint team showcasing how you can think about Cradlepoint solutions and deploying them across your district and all the different use cases, particularly battery-powered routers and beyond. So over to you, Garrett.
All right, beautiful. Tell me you can see my screen.
We sure can.
Excellent. All right, guys. So, as you look at connected school bus and Wi-Fi within the school bus, there's a number of things to consider, a number of applications to consider. But I would say first and foremost on this list is SIPA. I think that special attention should be given to that. And SIPA stands for Child Internet Protection Act. We've got a lot of folks from K-12 on here, so I'm sure you're probably fairly familiar with that. But it's something that has to be solved for within the school district. Now, when you're running Wi-Fi on a school bus, that same SIPA content filtering has to be handled at the school bus so that when the students are browsing, doing homework, that it's filtered and age appropriate content for them. Now, this can be accomplished one of two different ways. The first is we have pre-built SIPA filtering profiles within our Cradlepoints that can be applied. It takes, I did this a few days ago, it takes 2 or 3 clicks to apply that content filtering to anywhere between 1 up to quite literally thousands of devices out there. So a very easy way to do it and a very seamless way to do it. The alternative to that would be to run all of the internet traffic back through the internal school district's firewall and hairpinning that back out to the school bus itself. That'll create an identical browsing experience for the students in the bus as what they would experience at the school. So again, a couple of different ways to solve for that, and either works as well as the other does. All of our devices are 5G with backwards compatibility to 4G, right? So if the bus is moving through an area where you've got 5G connectivity, that drops and you're in 4G connectivity, nobody will notice any interruption in service. They'll continue to be able to browse, and that router will automatically flip to 4G. Again, creating no interruption for the student or the applications running on it. Once it drives back into an area that does have 5G, you're back on 5G. So you can run on on any number of devices that we have, you can run up to around 100 users simultaneously, which more than supports the average number of students on a school bus. As far as Ethernet ports and port density, so what this would allow you to do is run additional applications like plugging in our hardwired connection from a camera, a DVR, alarms, sensors, stop arm sensors, and a whole number of others. As a matter of fact, we've even got the ability to provide those devices PoE. So if you've got cameras on the bus and you want to be a hardwired network connection back to the Cradlepoint, we can not only provide the network to that camera, but we can provide the power that it needs to run as well too, which is kind of nice. You can run GPIO for vehicle diagnostics, running sensors, alarms, hard stops, um, uh, again, engine diagnostics, and a whole slew of other options as far as the operations of the vehicle. Obviously, we've got 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi radios baked into our devices. You can mask SSIDs, you can password protect them, you can manage this all remotely and entirely from NetCloud Manager, which makes deploying this at scale really about as painless as it gets, which is nice. And then, of course, some Bluetooth connectivity options.
Hey, Garrett. Hey, this is Rich. I just bring up one thing in case anyone's wondering. Garrett mentioned the PoE capability. The way you'll get that with say the router and picture R1900 is with an external dock. So you could put a dock onto there and you'd have 60-watt power for powering PoE devices. Also, what the dock could bring you in some areas, if you're more of a rural area and you need to run dual modems, our devices will run dual SIMs, but there's a boot up time in between modems. But you could also run dual modem on our devices too for an improved connectivity in areas where maybe certain carriers are challenged.
Thanks, Rich.
Mhm.
Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to hit on just a couple of devices that seem to work well within the K-12 and the school bus Wi-Fi application. So this is one of our latest devices. It's a 5G R980. Again, it has that ability to do SIPA filtering for you, 5G, but also backwards compatible to 4G. You'll notice you've got 2 GigE LAN WAN reverse configurable ports on the device. 940 meg firewall throughput on it, so plenty of ability within the device to support 5G, and even as 5G starts approaching 200, 300, 400 meg throughput, you've got plenty of space within this device. VPN tunnel count, I want to highlight this just briefly. This device can support up to 20 consecutive or parallel VPN tunnels simultaneously. The vast majority of school districts will run a single VPN for their school bus application. However, if the need arises where you need to run more than a single VPN, you can run up to 20 on this device, which is nice. You'll see that I've got a couple of pictures of the device. On one end, so the bottom picture, you're seeing the 2 Ethernet ports. On the top picture, you're seeing the antenna connections that Mike will talk a little bit more about. But this is where you would run your Parsec antenna into the router. So this device would be mounted in like a bulk overhead in the bus, or in a cage, or under the driver's seat. And then from there, you would have your coax cables running up to the ceiling to your Parsec antenna, bringing in a strong signal down to the Cradlepoint, and then distributing that Wi-Fi throughout the bus and surrounding area. The other one that I want to highlight here is the R2100. Now, this one's a little bit unique in the sense that it's an all-in-one form factor, which is kind of nice. Beauty is in its simplicity. So what you're looking at is the antenna, the router, and the modem all in a single form factor. So with something like this, you have the ability to mount this on the roof of the bus. It will again act as your router, modem, and antenna. You run power down into the bus through a 4-wire harness, and you're off and running. It's about as simple as an installation as it gets. And again, a lot of the beauty of this is in its simplicity. VPN tunnel count, this can run up to 10. Again, the vast majority of you guys are probably running 1, maybe 2 VPNs. This one you can support up to 10 concurrent VPN tunnel counts, 900 meg throughput on the firewall. And then if you were looking for port density on this Ethernet port density, you'll see on the bottom picture here that you have on the right-hand side, you've got an Ethernet cable coming out of the device. What you can do if you need Ethernet port density and you like this model of Cradlepoint, you can run that Ethernet cable down into a switch and provide yourself then some port density for cameras and other things that you may want to hardwire. So operating temps are extreme. We've got these all over the place in Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Dakotas, Chicago, and they work extremely well again. All right, I wanted to show you just real quick. So I covered 2 of them, right? The top one, the R2100, and then the third one down, the R980 series routers. This is our mobile hardware family here. So, you've got the R2100, 1900, 980, 920, and 1700. I would say for the application of school bus Wi-Fi and some of the other applications that y'all run in school buses, the 3 options that you'd most likely be looking at are going to be one of the 3 with a fairly high likelihood of it being the 980 or the 2100. But the top 3 are really designed for the applications you guys are running. So, Rich, anything that you wanted to add to that?
No, you covered it well.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you, guys.
Fantastic. Up next, we'll move to the Parsec team, and we'll have Mike share some insights on the antenna side of things. Go ahead, Mike.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Rich and Garrett. Great job. We've been partnering with them for years, so we are very used to working as a team together and come up with these solutions. One of the biggest things that we always want to talk about is Parsec in our name. We are an antenna manufacturer based in Plano, Texas, and we do our manufacturing here, not elsewhere. So that's a big help, and we have a lot of inventory. So it's one of the reasons why we're one of the big partners with Ericsson and helping solve a lot of these solutions. As you can see there, this is one of our test trucks. We do a lot of testing. We recently did 1 million points of testing on NetCloud Manager with our antennas, some that we'll be talking about today. So what we really offer, and again, Parsec's a play on words. It means 3.26 light years, so it is a distance measurement. And everything we do is to increase distance. So a lot of this is about rural, right? Rural buses, and as Garrett said, it's not just school bus Wi-Fi. That is obviously what's funded, what's really discussed in the E-rate programs. But this is, again, like Garrett said, security, real-time data for checking in on the bus, GPS. So it's so much more than just connecting the kids' Wi-Fis and getting them to do the homework, which is very important, obviously, right? But again, Parsec's a play on words. So everything we do is to create more distance and to make sure people stay connected. So the reason why I mentioned we did 1 million points in the last 18 months on NetCloud Managers to show that you stay connected with the Parsec. And we have, I think, 99 point something uptime, even in very remote areas. So this is something that we're very proud of, something that we've done exclusively with the Ericsson routers. And so we have the data in Colorado, in New Mexico, right? We're based out of Plano, Texas. So we drive from here and we do all these different locations. So we really know how to get and stay connected for all those use cases, not just school bus Wi-Fi. Next slide, please. So how do we do that, right? In a nutshell, you don't need to be a physicist or understand RF. Basically, a lot of the competitor technology is made for 0 to 5 miles. And their peak gain, where all the power goes, is really up like an ice cream cone. Our patented technology, we have about 17, 18 issued, and also up to 60, we have 61 in pending. But we have a lot of patented technology. And what the simple thing is that we get more distance, right? Again, the play on words. Parsec gets you more distance. Uh, we did with Verizon as our carrier. We are the only companies that Cradlepoint, Ericsson, did a white paper on, and we got the longest distance, 36 miles. So if you're in an urban or even urban to remote area, we will keep you connected. And we've proved that again with 1 million test data points, right? That we have, that we show that you can always get connected. And that's with all the routers we've shown here, right? And that's basically on our test truck, we did the R1900. And so that's a 5G device. So we really specialize on 5G, but we still sell a lot of 4G, depending on your budget, depending on your application, your footprint, and how many kids you have on a bus, but definitely recommend 5G. But that's it. It's really what we do is we give a further definition, right? Further distance. And that's really our specialty is staying connected, keeping connected. We also do a lot with public sector for that same reason. We've seen recently in Palisades of California, we've seen our carrier friends use our routers and antennas, and they say that the only thing that kept them connected was the Parsec antenna. So you're talking about 50 square miles, everything, all the infrastructure is burnt up. That's why Parsec is capable of keeping those signals, keeping those people connected, and helping save lives. So that same technology is used for school bus Wi-Fi to keep kids connected and keep you safe. Not just Wi-Fi, but keep the kids safe, right? With video, with camera systems, alerts, medical, God forbid anything should happen to a child on a bus. But all these different use cases combine into this E-rate funding for bus Wi-Fi. So please don't think of it as just that. There's so many other use cases that we can all take advantage of in this market and stay connected with the Parsec antenna and an Ericsson router. Next slide, please. So the other thing we've offered, and Clever probably has talked to a lot of you about, is our case technology. So again, we're big into public sector, and part of that is having portable cases. So one of the cases that we have for the solution is not just hardwired with the router in the bus like Garrett just showed, but also the portable case, right? Because here on some of your school systems, they're kind of smaller budgets, so you want the most usability. If you have it hardwired and installed in a bus, it's not portable then in all these instances, right? So in some cases, it's a great opportunity to have a case. So it's all a hotspot solution there. Same Wi-Fi, same GPS, same cellular, but in a hardened case that's one button to push. You can use that for emergency management. You can use that for the school, take it out and use it wherever you need within your precinct, within your school system, your town hall. So it's a multi-use system now, not just school bus Wi-Fi when you use the portable case. And these are in stock. These are ready to go. This isn't something where we have to wait 12 weeks, right? This is something we have right now, and Clever can give you more information on that after the call. But these are the solutions that we offer. So it's not just a one size fits all. We realize that it's not a one budget, but we have multiple solutions to help you solve these problems. Next slide. And here's the Boxer case. This is for their new 980, right? It's a little smaller, a little more compact, very easy to carry, right? It's like the size of a very small backpack, and it's easily totable. You don't have to be strong. It's not a lot of equipment to carry around, but it works very high performance. Matter of fact, this case is now in 2025 going to be sold and carried by all three carriers. So that's AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon. So we're very proud of that. And that's how well that works. And that's with the R980, right? So it's the newest, greatest 5G connectivity, and it's a really small, powerful case. So again, it's another solution that you can have for different departments, city hall, bus system, mechanics out in the field. They can use this, right? Anything you need to have portable comms, and it works just as good as the stuff you'd have on the bus, on the roof. So fantastic solution. Really happy to have this for you guys. So now our last solution, right? We have good, better, best, if you will. Our last solution is for really cost-conscious customers. And what this is we call it the Springer Spaniel. Everything's named after dogs to make it easy. And what this is it's kind of a DIY where you put the router in like an easy bake oven. The antennas are on top, the router's on the bottom, you slide it in, and you can Velcro it right onto the top. So it's a super easy installation. You don't have to spend the money on that, right? Anybody that can install a laptop or a radio can install that. It's very simple. You just have a power cable. You can either do PoE or you can just do it right to the power cable to the bus. So it's a very easy installation, very cost effective, and yet again, our core technology is in there. So you get the distance of as you do with all our other technologies. So it really, all these three solutions really help you keep connected, and just depends on what your school system wants and how you want to approach it and what your budget is. So we basically combined as a team have a solution for all of these cost scenarios and performance and placement. So next slide, please. To wrap up on this, we have different social medias that you can check on. We are here to answer your questions. Again, whether with Ericsson or with ByteSpeed, we're here to help you guys. We have the best of technology. We've been installing these systems for years. We have well over, I think, 150 bus systems nationwide that we've done. So that's why we have all these solutions. We know it's not a one size fits all. And please know we're here to help you. So thank you for your time today. Call us, let us know what we can do. We have Blake. Are you on the call? Blake is our sales guy for your territory. So call any of us. We're here to help you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you to the Parsec team. So we have a few minutes left over for some questions. If you have questions, feel free to post them in the box. I'll be taking a look at them and we'll let the team know what questions you'd like answered. One question here for both of you. So we've talked about the use cases that you can get out of school bus Wi-Fi and how it can enhance student safety, either on the road, etc. How about other ways in which schools can make use of battery-powered router solutions? Emergency response is something that we hear often. So I'll leave that over to you, Garrett, first, and then we can have Mike just kind of share what you're seeing schools utilize these battery-powered router solutions for.
No, yeah, that's a really good question, Clever. Yeah, I mean, what's nice about the battery powered, Cradlepoint solutions paired with that Parsec case is obviously it's a mil spec sitting inside of a Pelican case, so it's going to take a significant amount of abuse on top of the fact that our devices are military spec as well too. But as far as the applications, they get pretty widespread, especially in K-12. So it's something that you could put on a school bus. Kids are going to a field trip, maybe a nature center. You want them to do some research on an animal that they're going to see. What's really neat about it is you can then take that case off and take it on your walk with you, and they can continue to stay connected to online learning content out in the nature center or wherever that might be. So it becomes a really flexible network connectivity option for the students to support learning. Another area that we've seen these cases used a lot over the last few years is actually, ironically, school sporting events. Many schools will broadcast their football games, their baseball, hockey, volleyball, you name it. Being able to grab that case and stream it live back to the website has proven to be a really secure, easy, and cost-effective way to allow parents that are maybe out of town or traveling or grandparents to watch their kids play. And that's seen a lot of traction over the last few years. So those are just a couple. There are many, but I'll stop there. So give Mike a chance as well.
Yeah, a couple of ones are just more human, right? Like you said, how many times a grandparent or a neighbor has to wait for the kids to come off the bus, just having the GPS and knowing where the kids are or what time the bus is coming. I mean, it's been a huge issue around Dallas. We had some school routing changes. Kids didn't get home late. Parents were very upset. We've had some shootings, unfortunately. And, so where are my kids is, I mean, I've got children myself, right? So, where are your kids? You think you're at work, everything's fine. Having that extra level of, knowing where they are in case your kid doesn't have a cell phone, you're not checking them, you can check the bus. And that's just, especially if you have a grandparent that's not tech savvy, to know that they can just say, hey, the school bus is coming. that's just a huge help. One of the other things we've heard is, unfortunately, kids fight on buses and there's altercations, and instead of somebody getting blamed, this is part of the video. When there's video cameras, they can play it real time, or they can have it in a file, right? Saved file. So either way, you can have traceability of what happened. Did Jimmy hit Susie? Susie hit what happened, right? So you can kind of cut to the chase where they didn't have that back when I was a kid, right? So these are all the different things that everyone loves to have that's beyond just school bus Wi-Fi. So like Garrett said, there's so many of these other use cases that just bring it down to the person, being human and all the things we'd like to do and have tech on the buses. So a
Great.
lot of these different use cases that all filter down into this, having this solution. And there's more to come, right? We keep seeing more developments, more cameras, more traceability of data. You get this system on, it is a gateway to future technologies that can help the kids, help know where they are, help them do their homework. So it's just starting, but having this connectivity on your bus is a kickoff to get this stuff going for the kids. So we
Great.
can help you with it. The other thing that we didn't discuss is how well the teams.
Yeah, you're muted, Mike.
Oh my God, I was muted the whole time. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, not the whole time, just at the end there.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
go ahead. Yep.
I love to talk about this stuff, right?
No, you're good. But so there's another question here. Gene was wondering how long would the portable unit run, whether it will stand alone. And so yes, the unit is a standalone unit. So actually in the unit itself is the antenna mounted in the lid, and also a battery mounted inside there with the router itself. And the router comes with a SIM of your choice. Everything is already put in by the time you get it. And you have an adapter that you can use to charge the battery. The other question here was how long do the batteries last? They were asking if they're swappable by non-technical staff. The batteries don't really need to be swapped at all. The batteries are just recharged, and a lot of that depends on use case. Of course, if you're like live streaming, a game, something like that might take a lot more power than, just maybe basic connectivity, for instance. So I would say roughly you can depend on, a few hours, 5, 6 or more, again, depending on the use case. So I say that on the conservative side, but you might find yourself charging it once a day. So they come, check it out of the library, go use it, come back, charge it again for use on another day. So I'd say maybe think of it as you can go, for a single use case, one day on a charge, roughly about a few hours.
Yeah.
Any other questions here that, or maybe any comments there, Garrett? Or
yeah,
Mike?
just a real quick one. I believe that it's a 10-hour battery, so you're fairly spot on with that. Depending on the application, running upwards of 6-7 hours. I believe it's rated for 10 hours though. There was a question in the chat that I typed out to answer. I want to make sure that I got a verbal answer to Chris as well too. He asks, does the Cradlepoint support DNS-based internet filter such as security? The answer is absolutely. And Chris, I put in a link in my response there for you on how that gets configured. Would be happy to have a separate call with you, walk you through it, show you how it's done. But the very short answer to your question is yes, it does.
Awesome. I know we're coming up on time here, but any sort of last minute comments, Mike, that you can think of? Just as a comment to everybody, ByteSpeed has a special promotion going on now for this battery powered solution. So if you're interested, we'll send you a follow-up email with the recording for this webinar, but just let us know. We'd be glad to work with the Parsec team and the Cradlepoint team to get you some pricing. But we do have a current promotion on these battery powered routers, and we'll be more than glad to show you some different options. But we'll stick around for a couple more minutes here. Yes, Mike, you have something to add?
The
real
last
quick?
the last comment I would like to make about the case technology, right, is that we've shipped just under 5,000 last year, and it has been a runaway success for us since 2018, 2019. We have literally all the carriers are using it. That's the size of utility for this market. We have documented save lives. It gets connectivity where others don't, right? So think of PG&E fires in California years ago. They used our cases, right? Verizon's Frontline uses our cases. AT&T's, FirstNet uses our cases. So all this technology has been proven out in the field. And the one thing we see when we give it even to an Ericsson salesperson, right? The use cases come out, the utility is huge. So a lot of people, think, oh, we might use this for a town hall meeting, right? Take it off the bus, go use it for a town hall meeting. And then it gets a life of its own and they find so many more uses for it. So that's what's really fantastic about this, is that the use cases just continue to climb on what people use these cases for once they have the tech, once they see what it does. Outdoor concerts, right? Board meetings, anything, things out in the woods. You go with the kids out in the woods, you want connectivity on a park, something like that. There's so much utility in this stuff. That's fantastic. And it's really simple to use once it's set up. One button to push, turn it on, turn it off, you're done. Right. So it's a fantastic solution. So let's get over that fear of new tech or waiting on how to use it. We've, as a team, we've done this for years. We can really help you through the process to get funding and to use this stuff and get you over the fears in case you're worried, oh, it's more tech than I want to deal with. We deal with this every day. So we can help you get through that and give you a great tool to use, and you'll find out it's pretty easy. So we're here to help you. Thanks for listening to us today. Thanks.
Thank you so much. I know a lot of you have a lot to get to and a lot of fires to put out, but I appreciate a lot of your time here, and we'll reach out with further information, but let us know if you have any questions or if you'd like to see any proposals, etc. So thanks again, everyone. You have yourself a wonderful day.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.